First of all, let's start off with Caleb getting hit by a truck. What's up, guys? This is Sean from Srkcycles, and this is the first ever second test drive video that we've ever done, and we're doing it because the whole YouTube blew up and flipped out and said that we were talking too much during the test drive video, and then everyone was like, why aren't you talking to me, us, the customer, which this ends up being me talking to myself. And so we're gonna do it all over again. Actually, I want to give some good, you guys got a lot of good points. Honestly, I didn't give this bike enough research. I didn't really know anything about it to really give it a good review, and I want to give it a shot. Let's start off with the words of wisdom. Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I know that one by heart. I didn't even need that little sticky note on my rearview mirror. Guys, consider doing this. Consider putting a sticky note Bible verse on your rearview mirror. Because why look in the past when you can look towards Scripture? Think about it.
I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm laughing because that was there was a good pun there.
A pun?
Like, not a pun. There was a good, I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna shut up. YouTube wants me to shut up, so I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, do that. All right, guys. So this is a 2015 Triumph Trophy. I really do like this bike. And just to counter what someone said about comparing this with the Goldwing, they're like, well, the Goldwing's not really sport touring. The Goldwing stance is very sporty. You know what I mean? Your knees are in front of your feet. So I don't know. This windshield has the most travel I've ever seen in my life. This windshield moves up than my town car side windows do. It's got a 12-inch spread, and apparently this windshield is actually tuned in a wind tunnel. They wanted to get above that buffering point from everyone's heads, which is super cool. What is that? Another cool thing about this bike is it has kind of like the BMW bikes do, it's got electronically adjusting preloads. So you can change your suspension settings with buttons and it'll adjust the suspension. It actually has little knobs and wires and cables that connect to the top of the fork tubes, where you would normally be adjusting that with a screwdriver. It's got a little mechanism that's going to go do it itself. That is super cool. Just like the BMWs. This bike actually comes in at somewhere around what? I think it starts at 19,000 MSRP. It also has adjustable seat height. I'm gonna shred this guy up this hill. Caleb, you versus me, buddy. Even though this bike only has 140 some horsepower, it actually feels extremely peppy. I personally think this is faster than the Goldwing, but I also haven't ridden a Goldwing in a long time, so maybe I'm wrong. It definitely feels a little more compact and not as robust as the Wing. I mean, I'm not bashing the Wing. I love the Wing. Don't get me wrong. This thing has adjustable seat height. It also gets, which is insane, this giant bike, 1,215 cc's, this giant bike gets 55 miles to the gallon. It has a 6.6 gallon gas tank. That gives it a range of, first of all, I feel really confident hitting these corners pretty fast. Normally on the other bikes I'll slow down a little bit. I just feel real confident hitting these corners with this bike. It's a very nimble bike. We're gonna take it right here. So you got a 55 gallon fuel tank with a range over 300 miles, which is pretty impressive. My truck with and it cost me a lot more to fill it up. Another thing is, this bike only weighs 650 pounds. 650 pounds. That's only 200 pounds more than my sport bike. No, 250 pounds more than my sport bike. But when you look at it, My sport bike's like, maybe I'll do a picture of it. My sport bike is this big, and this bike is this big. It looks 12 times as big, and you actually put 2 people on it comfortably. And that's, I don't know, I thought that was pretty impressive. It's a pretty light bike. They also did the, most motorcycle companies are doing this, including Harley Davidson. I think Harley may have been one of the one of the earlier ones to actually implement this in most of their bikes. But throttle by wire. But you notice when Harley, when Harley did it, they didn't tell anybody. They didn't like brag or make like commercials, hey, throttle by wire. Because you know what? People don't want to, no one wants to know that now they're doing throttle by wire. They don't want to think that they're like the test dummy for it. They want to find out that you've been using throttle by wire for 10 years and you never even noticed it. And then like, oh, cool, okay, I like it. But come on, am I right? To find out that, oh, this is the first vehicle you're ever going to ride that's throttle by wire, that might scare you. But when you find out that, oh, they've been using it for like a decade, you'd be like, oh, I had no idea. Most cars are throttle by wire. F-150's been throttle by wire since like the 2004 or something like that. It's got cruise control, it's got all that jazz, got heated grips. I almost hit that girl. Yeah. What else? Oh, okay, I got one more really cool thing, and I kind of want to test. I kind of want to try it out. But the rear brake is connected, and I don't know if it's electronic or hydraulic, but it's connected to the front brake system. So when you get on the rear brake, and I can feel it because it dives in the front. When you get on the rear brake, it gives you front braking. It probably gives you more front braking than rear braking, which is why I've been an advocate of this for a long time. Just in 99% of the cases, don't use your rear brake. You only need your rear brake if your front brake is not powerful enough. The fact that, and you never use your rear brake by itself unless you're in like gravel or something like that and you're on a turn. Take it right here. But yeah, this feels pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I really like the way it feels. But I like that, that's pretty cool, that rear braking. You could feel it. I mean, you could almost ride this thing like it's a Can-Am and just only grab the rear brake because it is using the front brakes. It feels very stable. It doesn't feel like all back heavy. Actually, I'm gonna try to lock up the back brakes. Watch this. I can't do it, and you definitely, I mean, I just mashed it. And that's the reason why they do that. Because if you're used to using front and rear brakes, wait for it, after this Buick. If you're used to using front and rear brakes, and then you get in a crazy situation and you're gonna go and try to grab both of them, your leg, your giant leg, is a whole lot more powerful than your 2 little tiny itty bitty fingers. So most likely you're gonna lock up your back brake, and now you're in a whole nother dilemma. Because you're now, not only are you trying to brake real fast, but your back end's getting all sideways and stuff. So that's why they do stuff like this. If you have an older bike, I just tell people don't use the rear brake. I'm sure I'll get a lot of comments about it on the YouTube. But guys, I really enjoyed riding this bike. It's a lot of fun. And I feel like really comfortable riding on it. Even, you know, sometimes you ride a bike for 20 minutes. Most of the times you ride a bike for 20 minutes, you know, you don't get fatigued or anything like that. But I feel like I could ride this thing all day long. I ditched Caleb. Come on, Caleb. It does have a gear indicator, which is awesome. It is a 6-speed. It also tells me my temperature. It says 80 degrees outside. Caleb, what does your bike say in terms of temperature? Okay, mine says 79 now. What does yours say now? Interesting. That's the difference between Yamaha and Triumph. Alright guys, I'm really enjoying this bike. I hope this test drive, you guys who hated the last one, I hope you guys like this one. And if you don't, just there's nothing I can do about it. Alright guys, remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going. and subscribe.